Hi, this is Rob Warlow from Business Loan Services and welcome to my Friday Business Finance Bulletin, my weekly roundup of news, tips, ideas and strategies on raising finance and dealing with banks. Well, let's start with some crowdfunding news. Now, Nesta, which is an innovation charity, done a quick survey of all of the crowdfunding platforms in the UK in 2013, and they counted that last year there were 87 crowdfunding platforms. Now, that was a 50% increase on the previous year, and it just shows how this whole alternative funding scene really is beginning to gather pace. They found that 27 of those 87 actually started in 2013 and a further 7 actually started during the first couple of months of 2014. So it just shows that the whole sector, as I say, is gathering pace and is now becoming a real alternative to banks. Continue looking at crowdfunding, the number of platforms are increasing, but what about the amount of money that they're lending out? Well, Fleximize, as a short-term lender, has done some quick calculations and they reckon that in the month of April, approximately £80 million was lent out by the various online and digital platforms. Now that's a great figure. That roughly equates to about £2.7 million per day. Now, interestingly, that was a 5% or 5.6% actually increase on the previous month. Now, you think the way the bank lending is contracting, and this increased by 5% in a single month. So again, it really just shows the level of activity out there. And all these new platforms are popping up all the time. Every time I see one, obviously I share it with you. And over the last good couple of videos, I've been sharing all of those new ones that are catching my eye, and I will continue to do so. So, this week, I had an opportunity to have a chat with a great guy called Alan Stevens. Now, Alan Stevens brands himself as the media coach, and he also helps business owners manage their online reputation. Now, I've mentioned in previous videos that a reputation is very important when you're looking at raising finance. And I had the opportunity to catch a couple of minutes with Alan earlier this week, and I asked him about this whole issue of reputation and how you can manage it. So let's go to that quick interview now.
Your reputation is what people say about you behind your back. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. And it's absolutely crucial that not only you maintain a good reputation, but that you monitor your reputation. You see how your reputation is looking. All sorts of tools that you can use to do this, obviously. Google, you can check what's being said about you on Google. You need to keep an eye on this all the time. I often have a Google alert set on my name. They call it a vanity alert, but it really works because anytime you're mentioned in a story, whether that's in a good way or a bad way, that will pop into your mailbox and you'll find out about that. There are lots of other online reputation measurement tools, things like Clout, for example. You can check your reputation score and see how that's looking. The important thing is that you do this on a regular basis. People who look at their reputation regularly know what they can do about it. You can't necessarily get rid of something that somebody says about you which is detrimental, although it depends where it is. On some occasions, you could, for example, if you were a restaurant and you were on TripAdvisor and somebody made a bad review and it was clearly malicious, you could talk to them and have that taken away. The really crucial thing is to monitor all the time. Be aware of what your reputation is online and offline as well, and take action to do something about that if it's unjustified. But of course, the best way of all to maintain a good reputation is to do good things all the time.
So some great advice there from Alan on managing your online reputation. Now, don't forget, your bank manager is going to be reviewing your business plan, but as soon as he finishes that, he's going to be powering up his PC, getting into his favorite search engine, typing in your name, your business name and your brand to find out what there is online, whether good or bad about your business. It just helps give him a more rounded picture about you and your business. So if you're ever thinking of approaching a bank for finance, make sure you jealously guard your online reputation. And by the way, thanks to Dave Horsley, my cameraman there, for that little clip with Alan. Thank you very much, Dave. Definitely a job out there in a camera world for you. Thanks very much. So back to this business finance world. Metro Bank. Now, I don't mention them very often, mainly because they're a small niche bank, primarily at the moment in the southeast. Started in 2010, but really they're just to serve retail customers, consumers, services for individuals. But I did mention quite a few videos ago now that they are looking to launch services for small business owners. And sure enough, last week they announced that they're doing that. And they've launched 2 services. Number one, asset finance. You know, traditional bank loans, you know, all those problems that go with it. Asset finance, a great way to finance the purchase of vehicles, plant and equipment, and all sorts of assets. So Metro have also said that they're looking to do invoice discounting. So you've got an invoice which is not due for 90 days, but you need the cash today. So the likes of Metro will give you that cash today, obviously at a cost. So check their website out and see what else they've got on offer, and I'm sure they'll be issuing a lot more services to small business owners over the coming months and years, so check them out. Great to have some couple of comments last week after last week's video. The first one from Gabo Mascan in Dublin. Thanks very much, Gaban. Thanks again for the information. I recently bought your book. I'm just at the beginning of it and I like it already. Well, thanks very much, Gaban. Of course, he's referring to my book, Loan Sharp, Get the Business Finance You Deserve. Blatant plug there, but hey. And also received a good email from a guy, Stephen Barker. Now, Stephen runs a coffee shop called Coffee Barker in the centre of Cardiff. A brilliant place to go to if you ever have the pleasure of visiting Cardiff. And so thanks for the email, Steve. Where he says, Rob, I've just been watching this week's update. All is very good. You should be doing a finance slot on TV. Get a job on the BBC. Hey, you never know. Thanks very much. But you know what? I think I'll stick to the day job of raising money for business owners. So, what's my tip for this week? Well, early this week, I was doing one of our regular sessions for the Lead Wales program. Now, Lead Wales is an entrepreneurship program for business owners who are looking to step up to the next level. And the sessions are all about tips and ideas on raising finance and growing a bigger, better, more profitable business. And so while I was there, I filmed this week's tip. So let's go to that tip now. So what's my tip for you this week? Well, today I've actually been running a seminar all about what banks look for when raising finance. And one of the things I've been doing is going through the parts of the credit assessment process that the banks will look at when reviewing your loan request. And I wanted to share with you the first of those things, and that is the purpose of the loan request. I can't emphasize enough that banks will only lend to you if the purpose is to grow the value of your business. In other words, to grow it in some way that the loan adds value. The banks will not lend what I would call get me out of jail money. They're not going to lend to you if you've got VAT arrears, NI arrears, PAYE arrears, or even to help pay a creditor who is knocking at your door at 12 o'clock at night. It's not about that. The banks will only lend to value-adding projects. So whether that's buying plant and equipment, new commercial premises, additional working capital to help support growth, whatever it may be. So whenever you're approaching the bank, ask yourself the question, does this project add value to my business? If it's just to get you out of problems, I'll tell you, you will have a problem with the bank. The problem is to get them to say yes. That's my tip for you this week. So, hope you enjoyed that tip. So here we are at the end of this week's video. Hope you enjoyed that. As ever, if you did like it, please give it a like and share it. And I'd be also be a real pleasure to hear your comments on what perhaps you like about the videos, or perhaps any tips and ideas on what we can do to improve it. So thanks very much again. Have a great and profitable week. And I look forward to sharing more ideas and tips with you again next Friday. Bye-bye now.